Here's some molds I made this morning. This video is going to kind of go along with the one I did the other day of making molds. I got this mold here. It's a flat ingot. This one is a deeper loaf type one, probably 1/2 inch deep. And then this one is about 3/8 deep, but longer and wider. You pour those, they'll hump up on top because of surface tension. So I made this little gadget flat on the back, and then it has a pouring reservoir. But I've also milled into it like key slots. So once the metal's cooled, you just twist this, as you'll see when I do it, and then it'll snap off the silver or gold or whatever, and then you just file it smooth before you buff it. So I'm going to just pour one of these. The carbon graphite, it's really quite slippery, so I'm going to just put this here. This is one of my torch holders that I build, and all I'm going to do with it is use it to hold the graphite together so it won't push it out. Okay, we'll see what we get with this. Let me get on a pair of gloves. I'm going to pour this with some tin. For one, it just melts easy and doesn't take as long. Okay, so I'm just going to heat the tin up. Melts very fast. I've already poured this mold 4 or 5 times today, so it's dried out. You would want to heat the mold up before you pour, especially if you live here in Oregon, where you can get the moisture out of it and it won't pop. Bitter. Okay. Okay, it poured. No problem. Gonna have to let it sit just a little bit for it to cool. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it. This is a big thick piece of aluminum right there, and I'm just going to set the plate on it and let it cool. I'm going to do another one because not everybody owns a torch dock, and I'll just demonstrate that you don't have to have that. Kind of nice if you do. But I've got just a couple pieces of flat bar here, and I'll just set those aside for right now. This should be pick-upable. You can see the silver is tin. Okay, and then I'm going to just give it a twist. I'm going to twist that top plate, and it twisted the sprue right off. That taps out. Makes a little star gadget there. And then the tin will come out of the mold. It does need to cool just a little bit to shrink up. I don't want to wait. But this is a nice little flat back drop little ingot. I'm watching the viewfinder of the camera because I have a tendency to not get it in there. Okay, so that was one way. I'll pour this bigger mold now without all of the fancy stuff. Again, I just set that on top of there. And then I'll just set one of these here and here. And all that's going to do is it's going to keep, because of the density of the tin, it's going to, if I don't put something with weight on it, it'll float the graphite right off. So we're going to do this time. I'll get this remelted. But these little graphite molds, I made them this morning, just like I did them in the video I did previously. Now the only thing about putting those bars that high is I'm going to have to pour from the distance. And I poured it all over the place. Okay, well, you'll just get an idea of what can happen there. As soon as I get done with this video, I'm going to do the same process here with still camera. Take pictures, and I'll see if I can peddle these out on eBay. So I just take the bars off. Any piece of scrap metal would have probably been better if I'd have laid them flat. Hindsight. I don't want to waste my metal. You can see I over poured the sprue, but it didn't go anywhere. To answer your question, yes, the mold is warm. Not that warm. Again, I'll just turn that off of there. Tap out the little piece. And this time we have it's a little smaller, but it has a lot nicer flat back on it. If I poured it without the keeper, which you can do, I'll do it. You'll see that you can't really get them to lay flat. I'm going to wear this tin out. This is a well-seasoned melting dish that seasons with borax, and it is just turned to glass, and it makes the metal really slippery in there. So that's going to take just a teeny bit to chill. Get my tank turned off. It's setting over already. But these make nice little ingots. I bought a few more silver auctions last night. I'm going to do a start to finish process of recovering sterling silver from really ugly junk, scrap, broken jewelry, and watch cases, and whatever you can find out there that's marked 925. And I'll show the advantage of using a little crucible when you start out, so you don't end up with these, which was melts of sterling silver that didn't quite have some silver in one of the pieces, and it contaminated that melt. If you did a whole melting dish full, you could really make a mess, of which that's what this is. That is amalgamite that's got a whole bunch of contaminated silver that I did. And I got to rerun them through the amalgamite process. Okay, you can see the top is rounded over, not flat on the bottom like that. And that, it's just, to me, I like the flat, makes a lot nicer looking mold. An ingot, especially when you resell it. I'm selling silver right now out on eBay, and they're the baby loaf molds. You would probably take a file after you take it out of the mold where the sprue is on top from using the flat mold, and then you just file those off, throw them in the pickle, let them pickle for a while, then you bring them in, wash them off, and start in with the buffing wheels and compounds. So anyway, that's how to pour a flat back mold.